What's up, guys? So I'm on Twitter, and this is something that I thought would be pretty interesting. Arizona newspaper editor says Joe Arpaio pardon shows institutional racism is Trump's goal. So let's click the link to the Huffington Post and see what's going on with this article. Now I do recall hearing about this recently. So as soon as the page loads up, the pardon was a slap to those who worked through the judicial system to make Arpaio accountable. The editorial. This is about to start playing. Oh, sorry, I already had it muted. The editorial board of the Republic blasted President Donald Trump for pardoning Joe Arpaio, the former Maricopa County, Arizona sheriff who was found guilty of contempt after profiling Latinos. Trump on Friday pardoned. Now, hear that, Latinos. So this is to all you stupid ass Latinos that voted for a dude that wanted to build a wall to separate America from another Latino nation. Dumbasses. Trump on Friday pardoned Arpaio, who notoriously detained inmates under brutal and inhumane conditions. The 85-year-old sheriff was found guilty in July of ignoring a court order prohibiting him from detaining people based solely on suspicions about their immigration status. The Arizona Republic's editorial board said Trump's pardon showed the president entirely accepted institutional racism. Quote, by pardoning Arpaio, Trump made it clear that institutional racism is not just okay with him, it is a goal, end quote, the board wrote. The pardon, they wrote, quote, elevates Arpaio once again to the pantheon of those who see institutional racism as something that made America great, end quote. The board wrote that a pardon for Arpaio wasn't just insulting to Latinos, but to all. Now, I'm all for people supporting their own people and and supporting their own communities, so on and so forth. There's nothing wrong with supporting your people, and you guys can see the actual news story. But I muted it. Let me see what this is.
Cheered by some conservatives, but critics in both parties say the pardon only inflames divisions and discrimination against Latinos and undermines the rule of law. Arpaio spoke to NBC News by phone.
I have to thank the president for standing by me and standing by law enforcement.
Still more news as the hurricane soaked.
So, you guys need to understand, people who are bigoted and racist against non-white people, white supremacy doesn't just lash out at black people or Latino people. You got to understand, everybody who is non-white or disagrees with their ideals are in their crosshairs. You people need to understand this. Yes, stand strong in your own communities. So when it's time to band together, we can do that and fight against a common enemy. But our communities need to be strong. Black people, our communities need to be strong. The Latino communities need to be strong. If we're going to fight against this enemy, you know what I'm saying, and band together, we don't have to do it, but it'd be nice to have support from other communities who are being oppressed and subjugated by, you know, these entities, these individuals. But let me continue reading on. Let's see. The pardon was a slap to those who worked through the judicial system to make Arpaio accountable too. It robbed the people hurt by his policies of justice, even before a judge could met out a sentence. I hope I said that word right. It said, the pardon was a sign of pure contempt for every American who believes in justice, human dignity, and the rule of law. The Arizona Republic was not the only newspaper to speak out over Trump's decision. The New Phoenix New Times, a weekly newspaper, posted a series of tweets outlining several of Arpaio's most controversial acts over the years. Now, for people who would say that Trump is not racist, please explain to me how you figure he isn't racist. How do you figure that this man is not racist? Now, remember the Charlottesville incident, right? So one of the now I saw this on the Advice Show. One of the supporters of that Charlottesville nightmare, when this guy decided to plow his car through a crowd of people, who actually agrees with that, was interviewing an Afro-Latina female, or rather the female was interviewing him, and he was saying he wants to burn them out of the country. Now remember, Trump said that there was wrongdoing on both sides, and got reamed by David Duke, a grand wizard or Harry Potter of the fucking Ku Klux Klan, Voldemort, whatever the fuck he is, old wrinkly pasty faced motherfucker. But got reamed by Trump for saying that it was both sides. But listen to what Trump is saying. He's not assigning blame to the people who actually caused this this horrendous incident when people got ran over. He's not accusing them of inciting violence, carrying tiki torches, guns, and so on and so forth. No, he has to minimize their wrongdoing by blaming everybody involved. Now, again, white supremacy targets anyone who is not them. But this is who white America wanted to be the president. This is who they voted for. Now they're trying feverishly to get rid of this man and get him impeached. But as far as I know, doesn't Trump control? I mean, isn't Congress mainly Republican now? I spelled that wrong, like a motherfucker. Sorry about that. It was all Republican, right? I mean, right? It's controlled by the Republicans. But this is what Congress is for those of you who don't understand. I just wanted to get a visual out so you can see it. The Senate and the House of Representatives make up Congress. For those who didn't understand, who don't know that. The Senate and the House of Representatives, that is Congress. And I believe that the majority of both of those houses are Republican, which gives Trump an edge in being able to do things and get away with things that he wants to do, so that he basically can execute whatever he wants unopposed. I mean, if we're gonna do this, we might as well do it right, right? So, these are the three branches of government: legislative, executive, judicial. Okay? The legislative is Congress. These are the people who make the laws. They're housed in the U.S. Capitol, the House of Representatives, and the Senate, like we just went over. The White House is the executive branch, the president and the vice president, right? Now, this is all in the Constitution. And the reason why they put it into the Constitution, because they didn't want to give any one individual branch of government more power than the other. They share power evenly. You understand what I'm saying? The legislative and the judicial branch both have veto powers to anything that the executive branch, the president and his vice president, and also his cabinet would want to implement, right? But the president has a trump card, and that's called executive orders, which gives him the right to supersede the legislative and judicial branch and do pretty much whatever he wants if he feels as though it's best for the nation or whatever. The judicial branch makes up the court system, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, when they rule on something, that's pretty much supposed to trickle down to all of the lower courts in the nation. But for some reason, they still operate with complete anonymity, and sometimes they do whatever the hell they want, regardless of what the Supreme Court has already ruled on. But that's all for today. I'm not gonna, bore you guys to death with this kind of thing. But these are the things that we need to know, and these are the things that our children need to know. We need to understand, you know what I'm saying, what makes up the legislative branch. Who is Congress? What two different representations of the people, the constituents, the Americans who are representing you. You understand? And how these three entities work and coincide with each other. You know what I'm saying? So our kids need to know these things. So that's it for today. If you guys are bored, you could have spent your time doing something a lot worse than learning about about the three branches of government. But that's all for now, guys. I'm out. Peace.